I'm on track to reading over 300 books this year, mostly novellas and audiobooks, and these are all my favorite ones. I'm gonna skip around because I got a lot of random genres in here. Rage and Reaper and Chaos by J.S. Cannon. I read Rage last year, but if you're into dark romance and you love badass female main characters, definitely this. Claimed by the Dragon's Venom. This was my first Dragon Shifter book, I believe. I really enjoyed this one, if you're into all that kind of stuff. Angela Snyder, the Keeping My Bride series. I can't remember what it's called, but I really enjoyed it. Mafia romance, like on his own island kind of thing. You're like cut off from the rest of the world. Really enjoyed these three. And then also the other Mafia series by her. Loved that one too. And she also wrote 2 reverse harems that I really enjoyed. One is a deserted island one, and one of them is a apocalypse, like a zombie apocalypse. Really enjoyed those. And then we have the Lost in Austin series by Christina Berry. I really loved this one this year. The first one is about a girl who's like trying to stray from her marriage a little bit. They're trying to like do an open marriage kind of thing, and then she ends up meeting the man of her dreams. This one is about a singer who meets a pretty badass woman that changes his whole like view on things. This one is the girl from the first book's man, and it's like his journey, and I think he like cleans up after Hurricane Katrina or something like that. I really enjoyed this one. And then Cheryl, my favorite, book 4, her and bartender Manic. So cute, love them together. Cheryl's such a fun character with like all her wigs and outfits and stuff. Getting into Christmas kind of things. Nick and Holly, I really enjoyed them and their little novella stories. It's like 5 novellas in one. And it's like a silver fox kind of guy and a younger girl, and they're very spicy, and I love them. Let Me Love You Anyway by Jordan Barnes. I really enjoyed this one with the whole like mental health representation, and I loved the characters. I love how they were both like, no, you're not doing this alone, I'm here with you, and both accepting each other's baggage and talking about like mental health with Jamie and his like suicidal thoughts kind of thing, and Alexis and her trying to separate from her toxic family that's like culty. Anyways, definitely check this one out. The second one's gonna come out soon. I'm excited to read that one. Holly Wilde, my fave. I love all of her books, of course, but these are my 3 favorite ones. Airplane with the airplane seats that have airplane-shaped penises. And Hollowpeen with the girl that has sex with 3 pumpkins and the candy dish. And the Melt for Daddy, where the mafia boss has sex with an ice cube that is also a dominatrix type thing. Like, he's telling them what to do and he's telling them what's going on, and he's bossy in the bedroom and he's bossy on the streets. A little bit of nonfiction. Loud by Drew Afualo. If you want to feel like a baddie, definitely read this one. I enjoyed it a lot. I love her TikToks and everything, so I knew this was going to be a good one. And some thrillers. Laura Than White, I started her collection this year, and I read almost all her books, and I really loved The Maid's Diary, where the maid is in the house and she finds this family's like dark secrets, and a lot of crazy stuff happens after that. I really enjoyed that one. And The Unquiet Bones, where these like 50-year-old remains are unearthed and all the people that were involved have already moved on with their lives, and there's so many secrets in this town that they've been keeping this whole time, and now you're just investigating them, and they're like, oh, I've already moved on with my life and now I have to worry about all these things, and like I could be responsible for this murder. Really enjoyed that one. Also The Swimmer, which is her newest one that's coming out on the 10th. I really enjoyed this one. It's about a girl that kind of watches all her neighbors, and she sees this swimmer in the early mornings get hit by a boat, and then it's like a long story of everything that happened, and her neighbors are involved, and it's a really good one. I really enjoyed this. Frida McFadden, The Housemaid. This one was just crazy. I loved this one. I loved the unhingedness of it. Minka Kent, I started reading her books this year and I read almost all of them. The Memory Watcher and The Watcher Girl are my 2 favorites. I can't remember what they're about right now, but I remember that those were my 2 favorites from her. Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. Very crazy book. Loved it. Honestly, if you want to read some gory, crazy thriller, this is for you. Lucinda Berry, I read through her catalog this year, and my favorites were Saving Noah and One of Our Own. Saving Noah is about a woman who found out her son did something inappropriate to younger girls, and it's about her whole journey of like what happens after that, and it's just all very stressful. But like just imagining that happen is just so crazy, and one of our own is voiced by JJ from Criminal Minds, and it's about a woman who is investigating kind of these inappropriate videos that are going around her son's school of women being assaulted, and then she's trying to find out like what's happening, and it's a crazy story. I really loved that one too. The Retreat, an MM romance by Andy Jackson and J.R. Gray. I really enjoyed this one with the characters. I loved them so much and their mental health struggles and getting through it together, and I just loved Colin so much. He's my favorite. Definitely read this one if you want a laugh, and also the mental health stuff. It was just really great. Another nonfiction, How to Piss Off Men. I really enjoyed this one. If you just want a list of just random things that you can say to piss off men in different situations, definitely read this one. I can't wait to have the physical copy. I read through Selena Moore's catalog this year, and my favorites are The Vessel, which is about a woman that gets kind of rescued from an apocalypse situation, and she's in this underground kind of thing, and in order to stay safe, she gives her body as like a vessel, and she gets pounded by everybody. That's all the soldiers that are going out and fighting for the greater good against the robots. And honestly, so much spice. Really enjoyed this one. It was fun. My other favorite by her this year was Feral, and this one's very taboo. Like, this isn't for everybody, but honestly, if it is for you, then it's for you and you'll love it. I loved the characters in here, and I thought it was a really good time. Light Me Up by Sabrina Cross, a MM romance between a man and his lamp, who's in love with him secretly. And I really loved this, you know, wrapping the cord around the wiener. Very clever, very interesting, very fun. I read a lot of Chuck Tingle this year, but my favorite has to be Not Pounded by the Admittedly Handsome Firework Display, because he really freaks out my dog. Two more thriller type advanced reading copies that I got this year. The Girl in the Fire, really loved this one, really loved like the plot twists of it. I didn't see it coming. I loved the storyline, and I loved the other book I read from this author. And Ghost Mother, I love like stories where like your estranged mother comes back and some scary stuff happens. That's just one of my favorite tropes in thriller books, and I really enjoyed this like scary aspect of it with the ghosts, and really good one. Broken Vows, this one is about a woman who, I believe she found out her man's cheating, and she's only got a certain amount of time left to live, and she exacts her revenge, and it's very entertaining. I love revenge books too. Lastly, If You Give a Billionaire a Bride by Anne Einerson. I loved If You Give a Single Dad a Nanny, and I knew I was going to love this one too, and I really did. I loved the getting married in Vegas kind of thing, the childhood friends to lovers, one of my favorite tropes. Definitely recommend this one.